Hi, and welcome to the Grumpy Bagel podcast. I am your host, Megan. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as the Grumpy Bagel. This is a knitting and nerdy podcast coming to you from Central California. So, welcome to new and returning viewers. Once again, been a bit of a time since I recorded last. That's just how it works out. Lately, I want to apologize for my voice. I'm pretty stuffy right now. I was sick a couple weeks ago. Just a lot of congestion because I don't think I was, bacteria or virus sick. The air conditions in California this past summer have been absolutely awful with the fires we've been having. So I think it was just kind of just catching up with me from the air quality there. And I thought I'd gotten over it, but obviously not. So I'm kind of stuffy again today, and it's even kind of getting to my ears too, so everything feels a little muffled, and which is a little disconcerting, but we will go on through anyway. So I will go ahead and start off with my finished objects for you. I have a lot of socks to show you because last time I recorded we were still in the middle of sock school, which is hosted by Anne of Little Skein and Amber of the Yarn Hoarder podcast. So these are the remaining socks that I did. So the first one I want to show you is the Stella Luna socks, which is out of Little Skein's house sock base, which is a Targhee blend. I'm really liking it. It's nice and squishy and soft. So Stella Luna socks. And as with all my socks right now, I used a size 1 DPN and just did 56 stitches. That's just how my gauge is right now. And did just a basic slip stitch heel and my preferred toe. So that's that pair. And this pair is out of Black Cat Fibers Nomadic sock, which I got at Stitches this year. This is 40 wax. This is a lovely, lovely speckle with grays and reds, obviously inspired by Lizzie Borden. And once again, 56 stitches, size 1 DPNs, did just a slip stitch heel. This is going to be for my Aunt Stephanie. I think she'd appreciate it as well as I do. So it's like, they're not quite blood red speckles as you can see. It's more of like cranberry. Try to hide my face here. But it's just enough, and if you know what it means, it's just darkishly delightful, which is just kind of what I go for anyway. So I hope she likes these. So for Stephanie. Darn thing won't get on the blocker. And this is, strangely enough, the only patterned sock that I made for sock school this year. These are Tea and Scandal socks by This Handmade Life. Trying to get it all in frame there. It's got this really nice lace panel on the instep there. And this is not my first skein of hand-dyed yarn, but this is the first time I've ever worked with my own hand-dyed yarn. So it's trying to find one. It's a tonal browns, or tonal gray with brown overwash there with some barely there purple specks. So I need to be more generous with the speckles next time. This is a prototype for a color that I'm calling Lady Grey. And that seemed perfect for Tea and Scandal themed. So I changed these from a toe up to a cuff down pattern and just fudged a little bit with the numbers to make it to my preferred sizing, so that also I could get a 2x2 rib on the cuff and put in a heel flap, and I have partridge heel flap just because that's it just fits better on me. I want to try what's her name? Susan B. Anderson. Susan B. Anderson's cut in true afterthought heel, because a lot of people say that fits really well for them, so I want to try that at some point. But for now, just stay with a heel flap and gusset and preferred toe. So Tea and Scandal. And this is not the last pair of socks that I have to show you today, but this is the last pair that I knit for sock school. I made 10 pairs of socks this year. Yay me! I was a little exhausted afterward, not gonna lie. So this is Once Upon a Corgi and her first Audrey base, so it still has a little bit of nylon in it, a blue-faced Leicester nylon. This was the last installment of the series of Unfortunate Events Club that she ran for book 13, The End, and it is called You Are In Fact in the Dark. And this came out totally different from what I thought it would be based on the look of the skein. And I think I know how she managed to dye it, but it's still a genius thing to have these just explosion of colors. And at first I wasn't sure what I thought about it, because it wasn't what I expected it to be, but to be a representation of the book, I think it's actually perfect, because the island is where everything basically washes up after, a certain amount of time. Everything ends up there, so it's just everything. Why am I showing it like this? I don't know. We'll just say I'm having oxygen deprivation to my brain because of my sinuses. We'll go with that. So, You Are In Fact in the Dark. Once again, just a vanilla sock with a slip stitch heel. Wait for the plane to fly over. I think there's a plane and a helicopter. Well, they're gone now at any rate. So you would have thought after knitting 10 socks, basically one right after the other, I would be tired of socks, and I thought I would be too, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna break out some shawls and some hats and give myself a break, and about 4 days later, I thought, I can't stand it anymore, I need some socks on the needles. So I broke this out. This is a Nerd Girl Yarns in the binary sock base, which is 2-ply superwash and merino blend. This is from the first installment of her Oh Captain Club, which was Captain Marvel. This is how they turned out. Another vanilla sock, slip stitch heel. I think it turned out really nice. These are going to be for my mom. It's really nice, smooth, because it's a 2-ply, and I've mentioned that I have an affinity for 2-ply yarns at the moment. So I really like how it turned out. It's a nice, slightly denser fabric too, so that feels really nice. So that's Captain Marvel. So that's it for the socks. And the next finished object that I have is my striped cowl by Mathilde Scar. And my predictions on this turned out to be correct. Last time I was just a few stripes in, and it was going really slow, and I wasn't enjoying it as much, just felt like a slog, that's all. That's the only reason why. And I thought, I was more focused on the socks at that point, and I thought, at some point I'm just going to pick it up and finish it. Well, I did. Like, right after I finished all those socks, I just zoomed this baby out. So this is, like I said, striped cowl. And I used Cannon hand dyes, the gray from my my main color. I was just going to say, is that a contrasting color? Although I guess these are the contrasting colors. Whatever. The gray color is Cannon hand dyes Ane in silver, and this is a silk merino blend. And then all the minis, all the other colored stripes here are Charles sock, also Cannon hand dyes, in the Here Comes the Sun mini set. So I knit this in the round and then grafted with Kitchener stitch at the end, which it never turns out exactly invisible, but after a good blocking it kind of comes out. You can see there, because you have to garter stitch 2 live ends together and then somehow weave in the ends invisibly. So it works, it works. It's going to be around your neck. Who's going to notice? So I was, let's see, the beginning stripe that I took out was here. And this is where I was the last time. Which, by the way, this is sort of an early acquisition thing. But look at this stitch marker that I got from the Gnome Knitter. It's a little glazed donut. It's so perfect. And so shiny. And it makes me hungry every time I use it. But I love it. So between here and here, was what I had last time, and this is now the finished object. That's really awkward. But I'm very happy with how it turned out. And especially with some silk in there, it's going to be really nice and cozy to wear. I won't wear it like this. Anyway, so striped cowl. I have knit another sock head. Surprise, surprise. This is some more Nerd Girl yarns in the Shimma base. So it's merino nylon with some silver stellina in it. And so sock head, free pattern by Kelly McClure. Should have said it at the beginning. Sorry. So this is that is Mahogany, which is a Hunger Games reference. And I thought it would be more hot pink than it actually is, but it looks really nice. So the only mods that I make to a sock head is just to take down the stockinette body by 1 inch, so it's 8 inches instead of 9. Just my preference. I like it slouchy, but not that slouchy. So that should add some joy to the winter months ahead. I made a Stash Buster shawl, which is becoming very popular lately, I think thanks to Kay of the Bakery Bears. That is patterned by Heather Haynes. And I made mine out of the sock blank that I got from Leading Man Fiber Arts at Stitches this year. That's my first time using a sock blank. The color is Listen, which is this kind of almost Pepto-Bismol pink, speckled with greens and then some hot pinks in there. So you start at the middle there, and just tapers and tapers off, going this way, and then going that way. So you have 2 options to use on the Pico cast-ons here. I use the stretchy bind-off, just because might as well, and I use the stretchy bind-off for the top as well. I am not sure what I think about using sock blanks yet. I know this is just my first time, but I've already blocked it, but you can see the fabric is still, well, hopefully you can see, still a little bit kinky there and uneven. And I thought it would block out more smoothly than it actually did. So I'm not sure if, like for sock blanks, if I should just stick to small gauge projects for it, because when you do, it just naturally takes some of that kink out of the yarn, or if, for my personal preferences, if I need to wash, like unravel the sock blank and then wash it and skein it up again to get some of that out before I use it. I'm not sure yet. I think I'll have to experiment to see, but it's just not as smooth as I would have liked. Maybe another blocking? I don't know. But I really enjoyed the pattern. It's great TV knitting. I mean, the rows get really long at the end still, but it was really nice. And I am making another one, which I will show you in my works in progress. So, my Stash Buster. I also finished my Color Affection shawl, which is a very popular shawl by Vera Valimaki. And the last time I had just finished the main starting point with just my main color. I hadn't added in the other colors yet. I was using a size 7 needle at that point and said there was a good possibility that I would just start again with a number 6 needle. I did, and I was totally right to do so because I barely squeaked that thing out. This is all I have left of my main color and all I have left of my second contrast color. Never would have made it with size 7s, and I'm very happy with the result. It is absolutely ginormous. I don't know how I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to have to get up. Alright, here it is. Isn't it gorgeous? I'm really happy with it. So, this was the Plucky Knitter Primo Fingering, which is a merino cashmere nylon blend that they carry. See, enormous. It's probably a good 2 feet bigger than my wingspan. It really annoys me when people say that, wingspan, because I don't have wings, I have arms. I have arm span. There you go. So, anyway, let me try to wrap it, or not wrap it around, I'll just flap it at you, I guess. So, the yarn I used was the Plucky Knitter. Again, I got this at Stitches again. The main color that I used here for this gray was Be Steel My Heart. And this speckle that I brought in for my first contrast color is totally tubular. And then my second contrast color is this magenta, and then used on the border here is Love Potion number 9. And it's also just a fun experience to have, because I originally bought the gray with another project in mind, but when I brought all 3 skeins up to the table to buy it, the cashier said, "Oh, those look great together." And I thought, yeah, they do. And then I wanted to use them in a project together, and I think it goes really well. So it's another memory tied into it as well, so I'm very happy with it. I have no idea how I'm going to wear it. It's so dang big. Ugh. It was a fun knit too, with all these short rows. Now that I know how to do them comfortably in garter stitch, it was a lot of fun. And the only mod I made to this was what I did for the increases. Someone on Ravelry has a very high helpful hints rating, I guess. Not rating. Anyway, for using purl through the front and the backs on here instead of make ones, just so you'd have a little more ease of the fabric, and that's what I did, and it worked out very well. So, my color affection, yay! So that's finally it for my finished objects. I'm going to go into my works in progress now. First one I have is another pair of vanilla socks in some Nerd Girl Yarns Bounce and Stomp in, let's see, the Don't Forget Me colorway, which is a Who's Your Doctor club color. I finished the first sock. I'll show it to you quickly here. Without the blocker. So that's how it looks so far. And I have just started on the second sock here. So another one's for my mom, because she just absolutely loves red, and despite all the socks that I make her, apparently she can't get enough. So, hey, I don't have a problem with it. So Don't Forget Me. And once again, vanilla socks, 56 stitches, number 1 double points. And here's that second stash buster that I am making. I have plans for a few of them, actually, and that's what seems to happen, just judging by the Ravelry page, that a lot of people make a lot of these. I am knitting the second one out of some Hunley hand-dyed that I got earlier this year. This is Tunnels Reef, or Tunnels Beach or Tunnels Reef. I'll put it down here. This is in their Superwash Merino sock blend, which is a light fingering, so you get very generous yardage out of it. And I'm having a lot of fun with it again. I thought I'd be bored of it, but it's actually pretty fun. And I have some more, or at least a couple more things that I could show you right now, but literally all that has to be done with them is blocking them. And I'd rather just wait until they're blocked to show you. So I'll wait on those until next time. You know, in 3 years. So because there's been a bit of time in between episodes, as there usually is, my stash acquisitions have kind of backed up a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and break them up a little bit instead of showing you technically all that I have right now, just because I was going to say so it's not overwhelming, but it just kind of makes me feel guilty. Even though your stash shouldn't make you feel guilty. That's what we're dealing with today. So I'm going to save some for just, you know, what has been in there the longest, and some club colorways to catch up on, and I will save the rest for the next time I record. So, to start off with, I hit the Canon Hand Dyes update for her very, very popular set of minis in a coordinating skein, inspired by Queen Elizabeth's wardrobe. She wears some fabulous colors. So, this is the mini set. This is in her Oscar Sparkle base, which for one thing, it's sparkle. 2, it's called Oscar. That it's sparkly. If you get that reference, bravo. So, this is the Queen's Wardrobe minis. I'm trying to get the glare off of there. Aren't they lovely? And the coordinating skein is the Queen's Pearls. How perfect is that? Also in Oscar Sparkle. Ugh. It's just so sweet. So I got these for my mom on a day that she wasn't feeling very good. So I'm not sure what she's going to have me do with them. Probably another striped cowl like that, but I really need to take a break from those for some reason. So this is how they look together. So the Queen's Wardrobe and the Queen's Pearls. I got 2 skeins of Destination yarns in the gold shiny base. So Superwash Merino Nylon Gold Stellina blend. In her 10th anniversary color, which is Pink Champagne and Cake. There's that. Some lovely sparkles and speckles. And I missed this the first time that she had it in the update, and I was kind of kicking myself for missing it that time, because it's not really me, but I'm drawn to it. Maybe it's because of the teal speckles in there. But she had another update and brought this back, so I went ahead and snagged it and justified it that way, because I had already been thinking about it. I'm not sure what I'm going to make with them yet, but I got 2 just in case I want to make something big, even though I don't think I can wear this color, but it's pretty! Yes! So I'll play a little catch up on the Nerd Girl Yarns Who's Your Doctor Club. I get the Bounce and Stomp base. This was the color for August, and this is called Killer Graffiti, which is inspired by Flatline, which is probably, it's one of my favorite episodes from season 8, with the boneless. That's perfect. So lots of these grays for the pavement, and for the graffiti that turns out not to be graffiti after all. Killer Graffiti. And this past month, September, was inspired by Rose's costume in The Idiot's Lantern from season 2. Is there any other way to go, Daddy-O? Straight from the fridge, man. So these pinks for her dress and gray for her jacket. That's pretty. And then just gives me, you know, 10 and Rose feels. This is not a club colorway, but it is still Nerd Girl Yarns Bounce and Stomp, and it makes me very happy. This is Clever Girl Jurassic Park yarn. Yay! I don't know why this makes me so happy, but it does. And it's just, you know, greens and browns and, like, I'm not sure if that's really rust or, like, dried blood red. I love the raptors. Ah! Okay, that's enough. I got my very first skein of Stranded Dyeworks yarn, dyed by Amy. This is in her MCN base, and this is called Naughty List, which is kind of a blue-green, almost mint. It's right between mint and aqua base, and it's really, really blowing out on camera. It is not nearly this light. It's much darker. So yeah, think more mint instead, with some speckles there. Nice crimson speckles and some of the green. And this is technically her Christmas colorway this year, but it doesn't really, at least to me, doesn't scream Christmas. And I just think it's a really, really pretty color. And this will make scrummy, scrummy socks. So, Naughty List. I hit the D-stash for some Fresh from the Cauldron. I've been admiring her yarn for such a long time, but I haven't gotten any before. And it's pretty, and it's the name that gets me. So this is in her Superwash Merino called Graduated. So it is a gradient, obviously, from just straight from one color to another. And this is called Heathcliff and Catherine from Wuthering Heights. Show you there. It's so pretty. And it's not really my colors, but I'm drawn to it anyway, and it's Wuthering Heights. Which I only saw this is a total tangent, by the way. I only saw the Laurence Olivier and Merle Oberon version when I was growing up. And I thought, oh, you know, it's so tragic and, you know, so many lost opportunities and it's so sweet and it ends. And you're just like, oh, you know, Heathcliff and Catherine are finally together. And then you read the book and you find out that's only half of the story. And it's a really disturbing story of what happens with their kids and what Heathcliff keeps on doing and is trying to achieve. And it's like, dude, you are so, well, both of them, they are so messed up. Like, oh, man. And then I look back and I was like, what? You guys are so messed up. That's all I have to say about it. Heathcliff and Catherine, tragic lovers. They are so messed up. I'm going to knit this anyway. I still love the color. Sorry, getting a little delirious over here. This is technically from the pile of yarn that could go into next episode's acquisition section, but I wanted to show it here anyway because I already know what I want to do with it, and maybe I'll have a finished object with it the next time. My mom and I went to Rumpelstiltskin's again, had another fabulous lunch at the Fox and Goose, which is right next door. Mom got an amazing shepherd's pie, and I got a Cornish pasty literally the size of my head. It was enormous. It was so good, but it was blooming enormous. That has nothing to do with it, and I've already showed it to you anyway. So we went to Rumpelstiltskin, and I bought, I got one skein of, I didn't buy only one skein last time. This time I did, but last time I was there, I got a skein of Shiver. Let me grab it for you. In Hedgehog Fibers Merino DK. This is Shiver. These lovely speckles in it. And this time I got a skein in the same base of Spell, which is this hot purple with some pink undertones. And I thought, I know exactly what that would go with. I am going to make a color field shawl out of these. It makes sense in my head. I think it'll be gorgeous. It'll be nice and squishy and, you know, a change up from the millions of fingering weight skeins that I've dealt with in my life. But that's what I want to do. And it's got the new rebranded logo on it too. I love that. So that's, I should probably stop there. That's all I have to show you this week. Okay, that was really rambly and a little bit out there, but like I said, I'm just going to blame it on this sinus infection that just won't go away. I think that only leaves me with current obsession. And my current obsession is this weekend. This is Friday. Tomorrow I will be going to Lambtown in Dixon, California. This will be my third time going. I almost thought I wasn't going to make it this year. I had to pull some strings and finagle my way in there, but I am going to be able to make it. Yay! I was going to be really upset if I didn't, just because of other things that are going on. But we'll be going to Lambtown on Saturday, and then Sunday, the new season of Doctor Who premieres with Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor. I don't care what anybody says. This is awesome. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see her. I think I should stop right now. So, thank you for everybody for coming to watch and join me again for another randomly timed random episode. So thank you for coming again. And I already said that. I'm going to stop before I keep going on a loop. Happy knitting. Happy nerding. Bye-bye, everybody.